So like I said, with that being said, molecular traits. Moving on though. False narratives. And then people going over and getting beat and not telling the truth. I respect, what's her name? Shauna DeMoss on this aspect of the matter. I'm bringing her up because she wrote an article about what she bear witness in Italy and what took place. You need to read that article. Because they were pointing dogs over there too. If you look carefully in the documentary of Corsos and the early expos of the breed, you will see pointed Corsos in the crowd, in cages. Paletti, who's a recovery breeder, had a pointed Corso. Now they're trying to develop and get papers on the dogs and get the dogs registered. So they all getting back and forth with judges and stuff like that. And you can look at the dogs at these earlier exhibits. Corsos were primarily brindle dogs. Not saying black, fawn, blues, pieballs, sometimes whites didn't exist. It did. But primarily, they were brindles. Chestnut brindle dogs. Chestnut brindle dogs. The muzzle, head expressions and all that were more of the molecular dogs. With Brutus. Brutus was a show neo. The best top Neapolitan in America at the time. You know how much money that Mike Satilli Sr. could have got? And also, to back up what I'm saying, with Carl Semitic book, World of Fighting Dogs, he said the same thing I'm about to say. That neo-breeders didn't find it beneficial to breed different breeds of dogs to make band dogs when they could sell neo puppies for a whole lot of money. For a whole lot of money. Brutus was the top dog. Brutus' lineage goes back to Wyoming, according to his papers. Sarah papers go back to Wyoming, according to her papers. Oh, we don't see the papers. You're not going to see the papers on the database or on a Corso ICCF paper. You're not going to see it. The dogs aren't mentioned. A lot of the paperwork of those earlier dogs were false. They were false. You're not going to see it. Some you see, some you don't, and even how the dogs were bred. Freestyle and lied about certain things because this breeder wasn't getting along with this breeder, so they lied. And it was allowed. And again, you gotta point the finger at those that was running the registry. If integrity was used in the beginning, we wouldn't be in this space that we in now. We wouldn't be here. If people would have did the right thing with these dogs in the beginning, we wouldn't be in the space that we are in now. That goes for American breeders. That also goes for the Italian people too. And they don't get a pass. A lot of you give them a pass, but I'm not going to give them a pass. So like I said, with that being said, don't feed into the narrative that the Corso is a type of dog. No, it's a breed of dog. It's an ancient breed of dog. The Italians had their way of breeding their ancient breed of dogs. Research it. When dogs are cookie cutting and they're producing the same type, that is a breed. That's a breed. And not all breeds of dogs look the same. That doesn't work like that. There are different ranges in a breed of dogs. So you have to research the range. Just like in game-bred pit bulls. All game-bred pit bulls don't look alike. Is a variation in bloodlines. So this is just a little bit of tidbit and narrative and knowledge that a lot of you should already know, because you breed these dogs. But a lot of you, to tell the truth, you don't know how to breed dogs. You just smack dogs together. You don't know how to read a pedigree, and your breeding programs are scatterbred. They're not a bloodline. They're not. Just because your name is on something and you're not going in the direction, you just smacking dogs together. You just basically kind of sort of wasting your time. And this is why these corsos are not on track the way that they should be. So now, with the DNA situation, the DNA has too many holes in it because of how the dogs were bred. A lot of you weren't around back then. I was. So, me knowing dog traits, because I bred band dogs before. I bred American Bulldogs. And let me get in with the DNA with that stuff. Now, you tell me, since you saying the DNA is absolute, paternally, yes, I'm going to agree with you with that. Paternally, your mother and your father and your grandparents, I'm going to agree with that. I'm going to be in agreement with that. It can be done. But on the aspect of lineage, we going great-grands and great-great-great-grands and great-great, no, can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. And if all dogs are mutations from wolves and certain breeds made other breeds of dogs, there's going to be characteristics and traits that's going to be similar, and there's going to be blood types that's going to be similar. That's just basics. That's just the basics. Basics. The American Bulldog. Are Johnson Bulldog and Standard Bulldogs are the same? Why both dogs are coming back 100%? Johnson Bulldog has English Bulldog component in it. It's been documented. Saint Bernard, it's been documented. French Mastiff, it's been documented. There's Pit Bull in there. Great Dane. I can go on and on. Why these other breeds of dogs are not being shown? I'll wait. Where the Rottweiler is concerned. Because now you got to know dog history, right? The Rottweiler is concerned. There was only one female Rottweiler left in the early 1900s. The dogs almost went extinct. For real, they did a recovery. The Germans. The Germans bred Greater Swiss, Burmese Mountain Dog, and Belgian Mastiff to recreate the Rottweiler. They decided to go with the black and tan, and anything out of that spectrum that was born out of that spectrum, they euthanized the dogs. So when you seeing these different color coats that are throwbacks, more than likely, these dogs were bred out of Germany, of course. And when you start line breeding and inbreeding, you're going to get throwbacks of old genes. And these colors are going to be produced of what the dog once upon a time was or is, or the truth is going to be revealed. There's going to be characteristics and traits in certain breeds of dogs that shouldn't be there. Pince nostrils and poppy eyes is one. That comes from pugs that was bred into bulldogs. A Rottweiler is not supposed to look like that. Those three dogs I named are Parnassus descendants due to the fact that Rome came on into Europe and brought them dogs along. And those dogs ain't supposed to look like that. And if you look at the present day dogs, you can clearly see they don't look like that. The Molosser breed doesn't look like that.